Hello, good morning. It's Friday the 13th of September and I'm vlogging a day early this week, but I'll explain why in a moment. Look at me sitting here with a bottle of water in my hands. It's not something you see very often, but it's something I've decided I must do. I must grow up and start drinking some water. And tap water or filtered water just does not appeal to me, but I can drink this smart water, sparkling smart water. And it's got added electrolytes, magnesium, potassium, calcium, which I think should help me in the place I'm in at the moment. So we've just been to Asda and picked up a dozen bottles. Right, I'm going to talk honestly about my week. I made my video last week all full of good intentions and in a very positive place, and things can change, and they can change very quickly by dint of the fact that you make some wrong choices. I'm talking about me and my wrong choices this week. I need to be honest, I need to get myself back into the right place. So, started the week getting weighed in on Saturday and maintaining. Now, I hadn't realised vlogging as I do, just how much, well, I think I vlogged on Friday last week and uploaded it on Saturday because of the situation. But I hadn't realised quite how much it had affected my mind last week. The fact that I maintained and the fact that the previous week I had gained 1.5 pounds, when in all honesty, hand on heart, I was 100% on plan. Now, I believe in Slimming World, I believe in the power of Slimming World, I believe that the way it's planned out, it works. And when you've stuck to it for 2 weeks and actually seen an overall 1.5 pound gain, it can be a bit demoralising, and it can, for me, I'm talking about for me, I must remember I'm talking about for me, it can play with my head because I really didn't feel that the results I got in the last 2 weeks were the results I deserved. Now, that's life, that happens. I'm not looking for excuses, not for 1 minute. But I think it actually did play with my head because I was going in the wrong direction, but I was doing everything to be going in the right direction. Now, it's strange, excuse me, I've been doing this now for over 4 years. I've been at Target for 3 3/4 years. I know what I'm doing, I enjoy what I'm doing, but I just don't know how to put it into words, how I felt. Now, I'd gone into my birthday deciding that it was my birthday, I didn't need to take the day off, I didn't need cheats, I didn't need treats, I wasn't looking for anything like that. But by Saturday night, I had decided, after going out for lunch on Saturday, just having a meal at the Chinese, not having a dessert or anything like that because I didn't want one, genuinely didn't want one. By Saturday night, the resentments were building up in my head. So I decided I should have a birthday cake and I should have a few other things that I deserved them foolishly. I deserved them, excuse me. Got a real tickly nose this morning. And in my head, I think I can contain that. I can have a few hours off plan, a couple of hours off plan, a few things I don't ordinarily eat, I'm going to be fine. It didn't work like that this time because I came off plan and I ate sugar and I ate wheat and I ate the sort of things I usually choose not to, and then I couldn't stop. So on Sunday, went to my mum's for the day. We had a lovely time, 4 generations in my mum's lounge. It was really nice. They had a buffet lunch. Joe took his own food because of his allergies. I took my own food because I wanted to stay on plan. That was fun. Lovely. By Sunday night, I wanted to be off plan again. And I chose to be off plan again. No excuses. It was a genuine choice. So I'll start again on Monday. Monday came and I couldn't stop. And Tuesday came and I couldn't stop. And Wednesday came and I couldn't stop. And I didn't want the food I usually eat. I wasn't eating the food I usually eat. I wasn't even drinking coffee. I haven't drunk coffee all week because I didn't want it. Just didn't want it. Then it got to Thursday and I was going to start again. So I had my breakfast. That was fine. Then I didn't want my lunch. Then I went off plan again last night. And I could not stop. And I think that is what genuinely frightened me. I could not stop. I couldn't find that something within me that wanted to eat on plan. And I'm almost certain that there will be people watching this video who've experienced the same thing. I'm not unique, I'm not special, I'm not a snowflake. I am human, and I could not stop. So I made a decision yesterday to ask a friend if she was going to group this morning, because she goes to a Friday morning group, and I decided that I would do that. So I'll go on to that in a second. But I really want to emphasise just how much I have played with this plan this week, just how much I've played with my life this week, just how much I've played with my emotions this week, just how much I've played with grief this week, and just how much I knew that was going to result in a big gain. And the reason I know that is because I've learnt lately that being on plan for a long time has reduced the amount of food I eat, so consequently reduced the amount of calories I eat, and my body's settled into that pattern. And when my body does that, not just my body, anybody's body, your metabolism adjusts to the amount of calories you're taking in. And that's what you generally tick along and are able to maintain at. But when you suddenly decide to do what I did this week, which was push those calories up dramatically, your body is still working at that slower metabolic rate, and anything you put in over the usual number of calories that you consume just immediately turns to fat. Now, if you don't believe me, you can Google this, you can check it out for yourself. So what I've done this week is I've been eating way above the calories I need, but my body has been functioning at that lower metabolic rate, and subsequently I have gained, from last Saturday to this morning, which is 6 days, 9 pounds. I'm not proud of that, but I need to put it out there because I've got to be honest about my journey for myself. I could have chosen not to go to a group this week. I could have chosen not to vlog this week. I could have said I'm on holiday, I'm too busy, life's got in the way. But all of that would have been a ton of crap. I knew what I was doing. I chose to do it. I'm not making any excuses. And that's me today. You know, I really feel like I've got up this morning in a different place. I've got a willing head on. But I think that's only because I have chosen to be proactive and turn it around. So what I mean by being proactive is just literally taking action instead of sitting back on my fat backside saying, I can continue to do this. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if I gain a few pounds, I can lose it again. Because that £9, if I skipped group this week, by next week, could have been another £9. And I really do have this block in my head that says, Jane, once you go over 10 stone, you are going to be in a bad place. So, as I said, I contacted a friend last night who goes to a Friday morning group because I didn't want to go to group on my own. Being blind, that's not easy. I'm not making excuses. I'm just saying I know people will understand how hard it is to go to a different group. My friend wasn't going to group, she's away. So I had a choice. Do I wait until Saturday? Do I continue to use this, oh, I'm okay, I'll start again on Saturday, thought in my head? Or do I get proactive and do something about it? So I got up this morning and I went to an 8 o'clock group in a nearby park. It's not a group I enjoy going to, it's not a group I intended to stay at, it's nothing like my group, but I needed to get on those scales. And now Joe said, get on the scales at home. But I don't want to do that because I don't want to fall back into the habit of getting on scales at home. I haven't got on scales at home for over 4 years and I'm not doing that again because I know that within a week I could be getting on those scales every day, and that's insanity. For me, that's insanity. So got up this morning, literally shower, went out the door with wet hair, drove around to the group, got on their scales, got a £9 gain. But so did the lady in front of me, apparently. So at least I know I'm not on my own in this. I know other people are fighting the same fight and struggling with the same battles that I am. But that was being proactive, because I could have waited until tomorrow morning and gone to my own group. I just needed to turn it around this morning. I just needed to do something different. So went to group, got weighed, came out of group, drove straight to Marks and Spencer's, bought 6 pieces of my poached salmon, which is what I used to practically live on because I love the stuff. And if I eat something like poached salmon, fresh vegetables, jacket potato and that at lunchtime, fully food optimised meal, fully satisfying meal and food I love, then I've got to stop myself thinking, oh, I haven't had any lunch, I can stuff my face with chocolate or cake or biscuits or chocolate trifle. Is that what I had the other night? Chocolate trifle? You name it, this week I've eaten it, except for pork pie. Never ever going back to that one, because that is my true nemesis. Once I eat pork pie, I've lost it. So yeah, that's me being honest with you. Being proactive and turning it around is me going to have to look at finding different things in my life to focus on, as well as the weight loss, because this week my head has just been 100% on food, and there is more to life. I know that when I sometimes come on my videos, I come across as like Slimming World is the most important thing in my life, and it is, because without it I'm going to go back to being 22 stone, totally depressed, totally miserable, and have no clothes that fit me. Now I know that a lot of people believe, you know, you can do this by feelings. You know whether your clothes fit you, you know how you're feeling in yourself and all that. Well, I'm sitting here this morning at 9 stone 13 wearing the same jeans, wearing the same top, but not feeling comfortable in them. I can feel where every ounce of that 9 pounds has gone. But I could still strut myself stuff in a size 10, whatever. But I can't do it by feelings. I can't do it by looking in the mirror because I'm blind. I can't do it by feelings because my head can turn those feelings on and off. I have to do it totally and utterly by the scales. So this morning, going into group, accepting it's a different set of scales, but having to trust in the fact that Slimming World calibrate all of their scales, and not kid myself and go, well, actually I might have only gained 6, 3 could be the scales. That's bollocks. Excuse my French, but that's rubbish. So I face the scales. I will never, ever, ever run away from those scales. You're never going to get me on video saying, I chose not to go to group this week. Because if I'm avoiding the scales, I'm avoiding what is today my real life. So I can't put enough emphasis onto anybody who's watching this video. If you, like me, have had a really crap week and you're thinking, I'm going to avoid the scales, I'll go back next week, by next week I could have got the weight off. Don't do it. Face the scales, and then when you face them again next time, you'll be facing a loss. Because if I've gained 9 pounds this week and I left it until next week to get weighed, I could still be facing a 6 pound gain. I might as well bite the bullet, get it over with, and not go back to basics and start again. I don't need to do that, but just get my bottom in gear and be on plan. And get back to enjoying it. Now, something I used to do a lot of years ago, I might ask Richard to leave a comment and say when I actually learnt this, because I can't remember. But many years ago, I think it was before we had Joe even, Richard paid for me to learn transcendental meditation. And at the time it was £365. That stuck in my head because it was £1 for every day of the year. And we were both going to do it. We went to the thingy course, and Richard decided it wasn't for him, but it was for me. So I went on a 3-day course and I learned to do transcendental meditation. But I've stopped using all that sort of stuff. I like the idea of being mindful, and I think in a lot of my life things I am mindful, because being blind I have to be focused on what I'm doing. I can't be doing one thing and thinking about another. Just by the fact that I'm blind, my mind needs to be on what I'm doing, because Joe will tell you, if my mind's not on what I'm doing, I'm 5 to 10 degrees out and I just bounce off the furniture, don't I, Joe? Mm. I've got to focus, but I need to focus more on being mindful around food. I was listening to something by Wayne Dyer this week, who is a guy I really respect. He passed away 4 years ago, but there's some fantastic stuff of his on YouTube. And he says, you know, about being mindful. When you're eating, you're eating. When you're watching telly, you're watching telly. when you're out walking, you're out walking. And what I've been doing is when I'm eating, I've got YouTube on, or I've got Spotify on, or something else. I am not focusing on what I'm eating. And believe me, I can get to the end of the meal and then think, where did that go? Because my mind's not in it, my body's not registering what I've eaten, and then that I am full switch just doesn't work anymore. So I think mindfulness, excuse my voice this morning, it's a bit early. I think mindfulness around eating is what helps me to know when I'm satiated. And I've not been doing that. And every bit of food that I've eaten this week hasn't touched the sides, hasn't satisfied me, has genuinely left me hungry. I've been getting up in the morning and I've been starving hungry. And then by lunchtime, I've been starving hungry. That's not me on this plan. Because when I'm on this plan and I'm food optimizing, the balance actually satiates me and I am never hungry. But I eat 3 times a day. This week I've been eating once or twice a day and all the wrong stuff. So back to the subject of meditation. As you know, last week was my birthday and my friend gave me a gift voucher for HomeSense or TK Maxx. And so Joe and I went to HomeSense. Was it yesterday or the day before? The day before. And I bought this. Is that showing on camera?
Yeah, tilt it a bit.
That
to see the top. Yeah.
This is I'm assuming it's supposed to be a footstool, but it is actually the perfect size. If I go down to sit on it, can you tip the camera?
Yeah.
Yeah. Take my slippers off, you don't need to see those, do you? It's the perfect size and shape. There we go. You got me in?
Yeah.
It's a perfect size and shape for a meditation stool or a meditation cushion. They had several different types of things that would have been ideal in HomeSense. But I need to get back to meditating. I need to become focused again in what I'm doing. So yeah, that's me and my meditation stool. I am going to go back to transcendental meditation. I don't need all these apps and things that are floating around. I did read a book this week. I've been reading a lot by David Mickey. The Dalai Lama's cat books. There are 3 of them and they're really lovely. I say I'm not a cat person, but really enjoyed those books. But then went on to read some of his Buddhist meditation stuff and that kind of meditation is not for me. But transcendental is. And if it means, taking out 20 minutes once or twice a day to meditate, to get myself back into a good place, well, I've got the time. What am I faffing around at? So, yeah, I'm feeling much more positive. I am so grateful that I had the wisdom to go to group this morning rather than leaving it until tomorrow. I'm still going to go to group tomorrow. I'm going to go and sit in on my own group because I love my group. I didn't stay for group this morning. To be honest with you, it was a bit like walking into a funeral parlour. I don't know. What did you... Oh, you've never been to that group before, have you?
No, it was a bit early. There was only a couple of people in there.
Yeah, I suppose it was early. It was an 8
meeting.
o'clock group and we got there at 8 o'clock, so there weren't many there. But in my group's so alive with atmosphere. And yeah, the lady who runs the group I went to this morning is very, very nice. She's our area manager. She's been doing it a long time, gets some good results. But if I didn't go to my own group tomorrow, I would feel that I'd missed out. So I will do that. I'm going to text my consultant in a minute and tell her what I've done and why I've done it. But I honestly know that if I hadn't taken the bull by the horns and turned it around this morning, by this afternoon I'd be saying, I've just nipped me to so-and-so, I need to get such and such. So, being proactive. Now, I'm going to ask Joe to link a video beneath the comments or wherever it goes, I don't know. Because what helped me yesterday was going onto YouTube. In my notifications, I've got quite a list of what I hadn't been watching this week, but there was a video by a guy called Bob Proctor. And anybody who's seen, I think he's in The Secret film. Bob's been around for years and I've been following him for a long time. I think it's a Proctor Gallagher Institute. But this video is just a very short video full of wisdom because he's a man who has lots of experience and speaks very honestly. And it just told me to turn it around. and that's what's helped me. So I'm going to link it below because it's so simple, but it might help somebody else. So that's my video for this week. It's going up a day early. But
battery's going on.
yeah, gotta go. See you next week. Have a good week. Bye.